It didn't take much more than a bottle and 2 chairs to make a speakeasy. This is what Daniel Okrent said in his book, Last Call, The Rise and Fall of Prohibition. Today, join us for some stories. Get your own bottle, glass, mug, and relax. This is Speak Easily, and I'm your host, Krista Stauffer.
Did you get outside today?
Did a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I went for a walk. Just walked around the building.
It's so nice. Well, today has been funny because I've been going from like one thing to the next to the next. So I'm like literally going home, picking up Elijah, and then going to rehearsal.
What do you, for Noah's
for
thing?
The show. No.
Oh, for your
For the
show.
Yeah.
Oh. Is Elisha in it?
Yeah, he's playing keys.
Of course he is. That kid.
Icon.
I was putting together my demo reel, and I came across the Honey and Blue music video that we did.
Stop.
It was so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
It was so much fun.
Amazing.
Do you know them at all?
No, not
Oh,
personally.
you have to meet
them.
them.
I was going to say, I want to so
my
bad. I was going to say, the music's awesome.
They're incredible. And they're the two kindest humans you will ever meet.
Elijah had an amazing experience.
Oh,
and like, he's just a riot too.
He is so funny. He's my, I always call him my wild card, or my phone a friend.
Your phone. Hey, I need someone for improv now.
Well, and that's usually just for numbers, but there was one class that the kids just weren't gelling.
Yeah.
And not that they weren't getting along, but there were just kind of some clashes.
Yeah.
And then he came in the next week, and it was just like this bright, beautiful ball of sunshine that he introduced himself to everybody. He's also like one of the best ones.
Oh, he's just like,
yeah.
I was going to say, well, I mean, he's got charisma out the wazoo,
Really
so.
does. What is he going to do?
Great question.
I mean, I know he's not old enough to have to figure that out.
I was going to say, and that's kind of the beauty of it, but I mean, he's so hyper creative.
Yeah.
That he'll go into something creative. It's just going to be a matter of.
Does he want to go to school?
What? He's not huge on it. He's not entirely opposed.
Yeah.
But not.
You don't have to.
You don't have to,
really
especially with what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot. He's been doing a lot of his own writing, actually, music and stuff, which has been.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but your whole
And
family
it's
is
so
ridiculous. Your whole family. Does your mom sing too?
She does.
That's
yeah.
what I figured.
No, I was saying she played drums.
Really?
All through school. Yeah,
Okay,
in marching
Karen
band.
Carpenter. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. She has amazing stories for marching band.
Really?
My favorite was probably that she accidentally lit her drum on fire.
Yeah,
that it does require a story, but we have video of it.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Wait, what? How?
They did this thing where they'd light the rims of their snares on fire, but someone accidentally put her sticks
Oh gosh.
in the fluid, and it soaked her whole drum head.
Oh shoot.
And so when she started lighting her drumsticks on fire, that's supposed to just be the sticks and like the rim of the drum, the entire thing caught fire. And the person next to her is going,
Oh, that's helpful. That's good.
it was amazing.
That's how
I've been
you
hearing
put it
about it
out.
for years, and then like we found the video. And so probably, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years
Does
ago,
she
we
still
got to
drum?
see it. Every once in a while, she'll sit down. It's kind of hard on her wrists now.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I had no
it's
idea.
Like, oh, yeah. Mom's a woman of many talents.
But you all are, though. I was trying to figure out, because I don't think I met you kids right away at church. Because I played with your dad on the worship team.
Yes.
And that was, I don't even want to do the math. I mean.
That was a long time ago.
That would have been 2003.
I would say, I remember being little.
You were, I don't even think Elijah was around.
No, oh goodness.
What year was he born?
2006.
Ugh. Baby.
I know.
Yeah, because I started going there in 2003 till about 2005. And I think your dad was there like 2004.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he was.
So you would have been like 2-ish.
The crazy thing is I was 5.
Oh, well, you were
I would have
older.
almost been 6, yeah.
But still. Yeah, I don't think I ever met you guys. I don't think I met your mom until later.
Yeah.
And then your brother took a class with me when he was 15.
Oh my gosh.
And then we had to perform on stage together.
Oh my
Lord.
Spring Awakening, that was like one of the best shows I've ever seen in my
good.
life, though. It was magical.
So good. And it was magical for all of us, too. Like, to have that many youth, and I say youth because I'm the ancient one, but, like, to have that many kids get along so well.
Oh, my goodness.
I have video, not video, but like an audio clip. The girls in the dressing room would rehearse Mama Who Bore Me with the harmonies every single time.
Oh, my gosh.
Before every show. So I gathered it on the last show.
Chilling.
I know.
And what a way to open the show,
Oh, yeah.
right?
So good. So I can still, that was one of those really feeling what was happening in the room. Like there was a wall that I touched before I went out every time at the beginning, and I can still feel like the heart palpitations of just hearing Emma singing, and then going out to her because we had to start it, you know.
Oh no, that was the whole opening sequence. Like,
did you know of my stage flub?
no.
That happened? Oh, God.
When?
This was lesson learned by Krista to pass along to students. The scene where I'm writing to Moritz.
Yes.
And I have, during the song, so I'm writing him the letter, and then he goes, well, fine. Yeah. Which was crucial for me to hit the cue line so the orchestra could start up a little bit higher so he could sing. It was like the third weekend, and halfway through the rehearsal process, Edward's like, we're just going to get you a copy of the letter so you can just read it. I'm like, great. Unless you don't have it.
No.
One of our stage managers was out with COVID, so they brought Nick Blignowski out
casualties.
Yep.
Oh, no.
They brought Nick out of the lighting booth, and he came down and he played ASM for the day, and we ran everything. And we ran that scene so he could practice moving the desk, and he took the letter off of it, thinking it was a prop that I brought out. And so I go and I open up the desk.
You're like, Lord, give me strength.
Shut the desk. I pick up the pen and just start writing on the desk because there's nothing there. It was a moment of like, can I stop the world? Can I just stop? It didn't, and I made it through probably about 85% of what was there, which was good. The cue lines were all in there. I made up a couple of things, something like, and your parents were just bad.
They just suck. I feel for you.
So I get on stage, and your brother was one of the first ones I saw. I'm like literally shaking. And I go walk off stage. They're like, are you okay? I was like, no, kind of. And I go down to our friend, Tom Christopher Warren, who has a poster over here that's not shown. But I go to TC Dubs, and he's holding a newspaper. And I was like, Tom, it was terrible. I didn't have the letter. And he goes, that's why you always check your props. That's it. Like, I came to you for sympathy.
You're like, I came for some compassion.
But
TC
be it known, I always check I will like OCD touch every one of my props now because I'm petrified of that ever happening.
Well, and hopefully that's a lesson learned now that you said that you can pass it on to all of your
And
students.
I did because like all of the interns came during intermission. They're like, well, that was interesting. I said, guys, I did this for you. I want you, you need to be sure that you check your props or else you'll have a moment like that. So I did this for you on purpose.
Obviously. But being able to frame, them, you know, our little mini disasters or like our shortcomings as a learning experience, such a healthy way to be able to just live life in general. Yeah. So it's like, take it and go, yep.
Not going to do that again.
Let's not repeat that
Give me one of your life lessons that was an educational experience.
Oh gosh, what isn't an experience lately? Oh my word. I mean, I feel like for me, definitely learning how to take care of myself was a big one. I was I'd constantly overcommit to everything. Wear myself.
What's that like? I don't know what that means.
Never once have I overcommitted. But I burned out and like spectacularly in terms of I had to somehow manage to ignore symptoms of some pretty like severe chronic illnesses that I got to the point that I literally could not function anymore and had to build back up for like the last, you know.
It's
been like 5 years now. So do
you feel like you're...
Yes.
Okay.
It's
beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, I joke saying like I feel like when I re-entered society was the first week I played volleyball.
Yeah.
At Flanagan's.
Flanagan's.
Oh, you know it.
Flanagan's.
So that would have been last summer in like the end of June. And so since then I feel like I've been like a baby adult, like learning how to like get back in and do multiple jobs and like do the modern dating thing and like handle...
What is the modern dating thing like? Are you doing like the apps?
I am not right now. Nope, I decided very quickly. I went, not for me. I think I'm going to focus.
Try it?
I did for a very brief period of time. And it wasn't like awful.
No.
But also,
weird,
I just didn't have time for it.
Yeah.
And eventually when I started, it was funny. Literally when I decided I was doing the show, I was like, right, I'm giving this up. That's the thing that's got to give. Okay. Right? And then pretty shortly after met a guy and I was like,
or maybe
I'll entertain it.
I'll look at the end of that.
But the whole thing is like, again, the modern dating thing, no one says how they're feeling.
Really?
And you see like multiple people at once, and my brain goes, I don't get this. I'm just a baby in
That's
this
weird.
world. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Then you have to, like prioritize who you're seeing, and is it
guess.
okay to see 5 or 6 different
I don't know.
folks?
Right now, I was just like having fun with it.
Yeah.
And letting it be fun.
Right.
And then you get your little heart broken a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you cry about it for a bit.
Yeah.
Write a few songs. And get over it.
There it is. That's the fodder.
I was about to say, I got some good songs out of
some
it.
good
I got some good songs out of it.
So it was worth it.
It was so worth it.
Educational experience.
Educational experience.
I did it for a little bit, and this is, again, I'm the ancient one. I did this back in like early 2000s when everybody was starting to do Match.com.
The OG online.
The OG online.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you had to pay $6 a month to put your picture up and all of that stuff. And I didn't go on any dates. I talked to a couple people. I talked on the telephone. Why do I sound so
love
low
it?
right now?
I called them on.
I rang him on the telephone. No, I had a conversation, and he was like some army dude, and I'm like, so do you listen to music? No, I don't really listen. I like country, and I'm like, ooh, this isn't gonna go very far. And then I think the next person I matched with was somebody's older brother that I went to school with her, and it was her oldest brother, and I'm like, no.
Oh.
No.
You're like, too
This
close.
isn't gonna work.
Too close to home. Nope.
No, but back then it was still very new, and it was a little bit like, you met online. It was
now
it was judgy,
which is so strange because now that's just
how you do
okay.
it. Right.
It's like, I don't remember what the statistic is, but it's like a third of people in the last 10 years that have gotten married.
Yep.
Met online.
Met online.
I'm like, how in the world?
I guess I get it because that's the way that this works, And it is, there has to be some level of attraction and getting to talk to a person.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, being a woman at a bar and being approached by a man, not real calming anymore. Like, it's icky. It's weird. It's just odd. And we don't really like it. So
it gets a little bit of a just a little bit
distance.
of a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the merits in it for sure, but like the evolution of technology has just it's just exponentially changed over even the period of my life. And I'm turning 25 next week, which is awesome.
How does that feel this is your quarter life crisis?
It's I'm crisising.
You're crisising.
If that's a word, then I am in it.
That's okay.
But
You've had a hell of a lot of life though.
It's
up to
been
25.
interesting, and so like I really feel like I'm 20. I actually feel like I'm turning 20, not 25, because I just kind of had 5 years that went bye. And so I have this like just this energy and wonder that I'm just trying to stay present in, which is not.
You are so smart.
It's not always an easy thing to do.
I know.
And I do not always do a very good job of it.
You're aware of it.
But I am trying, and that's like the whole piece. Lizzie is trying. Why I kind of ended up deciding on this new artist name as I was like reinventing myself. Not that I don't love being Lizzie Zink. That's who I am.
Right.
That's me.
You're not going to change that.
But like, my last name is now
Trying.
is Trying. Lizzie S. Trying.
Lizzie S. Trying.
That would be poetic though.
It would be.
Trying.
People would do it. They do everything.
They do,
They
honestly
really do.
though.
Good
But
Lord.
it's been fun kind of like toying around with that because I had made up this little moniker, Lizzie is Trying, when I was in my final semester of college, which was done remotely because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so it ended
And you were at Berkeley?
I was at Berkeley then, yeah. I was at Berkeley College of Music finishing up my degree.
Did you get a music degree or performance?
I did, yeah. So I have a bachelor's in music and contemporary writing and production.
Hashamasha.
Oh, I know, which is a fancy way of saying I did a little of a lot of things. So I did songwriting, composition, arranging, production. Like, it was amazing.
That's a great degree. And at Berkeley.
It's incredible. And I loved my experience. I loved Boston.
Yeah.
Just getting to be in it with all the creatives. And, like, it was weird because I had to leave because I got so sick.
Do you mind saying what you had?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Okay. So it was when I came back home and, like, went through all the testing, the doctors are like, one of these things would give you trouble. How did you end up with a whole list? I was like, I don't know. I thought a lot of this was just normal. They're like, passing out on the street's not normal.
Seriously?
Oh, I'd like run across the street. And I was like, well, I didn't pass out on the street. I'd like go to the bench across the street. They're like, that's not normal. I was like,
and just pass out.
Well, I went to the doctors in Boston. They told me it was anxiety because I was a college student. And they're like, oh, yeah, your chest hurts and you're like pass out because you're tall and thin. you're a college student, college is hard. And I was like, the only thing in my life that is good is the curriculum of Berkeley. Like, but cool, okay, if a doctor tells me at, 18, 19, I don't know any better, so I'm like, I'm just crazy.
It's just mental illness.
It's okay.
It's
fine. But I had to come home. I got a diagnosis for Lyme disease, which was super helpful. I also had endometriosis.
Oh my gosh.
Which, so those were like kind of like two of the big things. And I had some acute stuff. I ended up, how in the world this happens? I'm going to say two things, and they don't even sound real. Because when the doctors told me, I said, that's not real. But I ended up with a blood parasite. Yeah. Who... It's called babesia, and a lot of times, like, with Lyme, you sometimes get it. I'm like, what the?
So basically, it's in your system.
It was literally in my system. I was on malaria medication.
Oh my gosh.
For 4 months.
How did you get that? I mean, was it a bug? I mean, I
probably
tick-sparing Lyme disease.
That's what they think, and a lot of these symptoms I had for, at least with the Lyme, I had for years. But hadn't known because they were just like these annoying.
It was just anxiety.
The annoying symptoms. Like, oh yeah, my arms, like a limb would just go numb. Like entirely numb.
Oh my gosh.
But that also would happen to my mom, who also, like, we now know, oh yeah, like you had Lyme. That makes more sense. But we didn't know at that point. Yeah. So she's like, oh, it's just normal. It's just our bodies. And we're like, okay. Like,
we have anxiety.
It's great. It's awesome.
Jeez.
But yeah, it was wild. And then the piece of when I said, oh, my chest really hurts when I was at the doctor, turns out your heart can get infected.
Oh my gosh.
And so because my immune system had been so low previously, I caught something, and it can sometimes just attach to an organ because it goes, hey, we can just chill here. And so, and
it's still
virus.
there.
No, it is gone.
It is gone.
Got that out of my system.
Eradicated.
Thankfully, it was one of the blood parasite and the heart infection were like two of the first things to go. That's because insane. Those were like acute and can be serious. They're like, we got to get that.
It was literally eating you alive.
Now. Yeah, and it makes sense as to why I felt so god awful all the time, and I don't feel like nearly as crazy now. It was very validating coming and getting, a diagnosis. Right. I was like, oh, cool. So I'm not crazy. And I did write about that a fair amount. Yeah. I have a song called Hypochondriac, actually, that I wrote before getting any diagnosis of any sort.
Did you just think this is just who I am?
Oh yeah, I just thought I was nuts. I was like, okay, it's fine. Like,
that
this
is so debilitating,
just life, I guess.
Mentally too.
Oh, it was incredibly draining, and I know I look back on a lot of that time now, and I hardly even recognize myself in terms of my own physical being, but mentally, emotionally, I was not in a good place then. Especially because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was at a point where I was like, okay, I don't feel good, but like if I just pass out and just drop on the street, who's gonna care? Which is not a good place to be in. Very thankful not to be in that space. No. But
wow. So you came home obviously for COVID then too.
I came home right before COVID started, actually. Okay. So like that fall before I had taken off. Yeah. Ended up extending it to the spring. And then COVID happened, and I was like,
guess I'm here.
That was convenient.
Yeah.
But as sucky as COVID was, kind of one of the silver linings was I got to finish my degree because there was no way I was healthy enough to go back and live in Boston on my own again. But I could do it.
Yeah.
By via online, and a lot of help from my family. They were literally the best. There's no way. I joke and say, I don't know how I finished my degree, and Mom's like, well,
sorry, Joe.
She was like, sometimes I'd sit with you in class so you wouldn't fall asleep. And I was like, yeah, that checks out.
Jeez.
Like,
you have
wild.
Truly. I mean, and I've known a lot of people over the years. I don't know that I've ever met a family like yours. The most supportive, creative, so loving, all of you. So amazing. I knew your dad first, and he was all of those things. And then to see over the years, because I've known you guys now really well, for the last almost 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been at least a decade now.
Yeah, which is insane. But I've never come across, and I'm not BSing you. I'm not saying this for the podcast. This is like
you're like, this is not. For
I don't say this to all my guests, but no, the Zink family has just been such a supportive and loving crew for us here. Like we just, it's just a ball of sunshine. It's
very much just their hearts, and I mean, Mom and Dad. I mean, they popped out 3 kiddos who are get it honestly.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Truly.
And I just, I'm forever so grateful and thankful. And so it's really fun to, especially as we're all getting older, to watch each other grow and
you get
work
along.
through. Oh, yeah, I love
Do
them.
you fight?
They're like...
Did you fight?
Not a lot.
Really?
I mean, we annoy each other because
Yeah.
that's kind of our job as siblings.
Yeah. I would see more fighting of being like sarcastic.
Oh, 100%.
Jolts at each
oh,
other.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we all have like totally dry senses of humor. Like, okay, a good example. So my brothers were in Florida. They were trying to get out of the cold for their Lyme. And they got to go to Disney a whole bunch because they have a friend who works there. And so they got in for free. It was awesome.
Of course they did.
But when my dad went down, they got to go to Universal to go to Harry Potter World because someone from our friend's church worked there and was like, I can get you in for free. I got you.
Wow.
And so they went and they brought Mom and I back little trinkets, right? And so Mom got some socks, some dope Harry Potter socks. And then I knew as soon as my dad said, not that you're going to need it, but I went, he's going to hand me a love potion, isn't he? And then he hands me a love potion. He said, the boys thought that this would be helpful. The boys thought this would be helpful, and I went,
I can
love you guys.
Actually see all of
I
happening.
loved it. I was so here for it. I have it sitting on like my desk, little like shelf in my room, and it makes me laugh so much.
Your brother, I probably know Ethan the best because of
Just
Spring
from the
Awakening.
amount of time,
the amount of time we worked together. The funniest moment, though, that we shared was when he figured out that he got cast in Spring Awakening, because he initially told me, he texted me first and said, I got Otto. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. We're
you're
on
in the
stage together.
show.
The next day, it was this weird sounding text of like, I got the wrong role. I'm actually the piano student. And I'm like, I had been reading the script just then because I was the piano teacher. It says she rips open her bodice and straddles him as he fondles her. And I'm like, oh gosh.
You go,
I'm
oh
thinking
my gosh.
some sweet little cute thing that's gay and out of New York City. No, it was your brother. And with that text, he actually said, it won't be awkward. It might be a little awkward. Which it was not.
My
and
gosh,
it was wildly
Ethan.
professional, but it's just like, oh, good Lord.
That's amazing.
It had to be Ethan.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we were living for it though. As soon as he said the role
so
got
funny.
switched, I was like, shut up. Because I knew exactly what that meant as soon as he said it.
And for me, like, the thing that I realized is like, I think your parents were probably happy that it was me and not somebody weird. Well, I'm weird, but not in that, like,
the right kind of weird.
I'm as teacher as they come. So,
Oh my word.
it was, I mean, I'm still flushed with embarrassment even thinking
I
about
love
that.
it. Oh
like,
my goodness.
that show, incredible. But it was such a testament to him working so hard for that role, because he was
magic.
pretty sick right after that.
He was.
Yeah.
No, I was really thankful he was able to get through that. Like,
Was he starting to feel
Healthy.
symptoms during?
not really.
Okay.
It was shortly following. I mean, he had gotten into a really good groove with Spring Awakening. That's probably the best that he had felt in a long time.
Wow.
But he had just, I mean, he was doing so much between that, and he started working full time and doing the show.
Yep.
And just had a lot of other things going on that eventually. So, I mean, something's got to give.
It happens. Your
Again,
body
lesson
tells you to
lesson
stop.
learned.
Yep.
Take
Yay.
a break. Take a nap. Drink some water.
What do you? I know this sounds so like cliche, but what do you do for self-care now that you said you had to?
So there's so many great things. One of my like top things is going and taking walks outside in the park, because it's very grounding. I love being in nature.
Yep.
Like just being around trees.
I have a good song for you.
I just
Remind me
being in
afterward.
trees.
I have a tree song for you.
A
to
tree
share.
song? Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's musical theater-ish, but
Okay, reminiscent of the T style.
remind me. So
But
you take walks,
I
get
love
outside.
taking walks. I mean, my biggest thing is, but in terms of like emotional coping and like, I write.
Yeah.
I write. I mean, again, as a musician, like that's a part of what you
Get
do.
it
So
on
I write.
paper.
Just write.
What is your favorite thing that you've written? Do you have?
Oh God,
I know that's hard.
that's a hard one. I don't think I have a favorite. I have rotating things where I
Okay.
go like, oh, this one's my favorite one right now. Like Hypochondria, that song I mentioned earlier. There's a period of that song like got me through being sick. I listened to it probably every night going to bed during the beginning parts of my treatment, because I was like, there's not a song for me. Like, I don't know what it is. I was like, guess I'll just write
I'll
one
write it.
myself.
That actually is a really good idea.
And so my hope with a lot of that is like, if it helps me, I'm hoping that help someone else too, because, you know,
Yeah.
our experiences are unique to us as humans, but our experiences as humans
Quite
are not
Yeah.
necessarily unique. You know, there's nothing new under the sun, but we each get to live our own unique thing, which I think is such a beautiful,
Completely.
wonderful, yet paradoxical thing. So
It's weird.
human existence, it's wonderful
Do you
and wild.
I fully agree. Like, do you think in song lyrics?
Yes,
Okay.
often.
Like you can
If I were able to just record my brain, I'd have so many more
Yeah.
songs that I could like write. The problem is that's not realistic.
Yeah.
And so I'll like, especially if I'm at work, I do some part-time stuff at a restaurant just because I was like, I teach in the afternoons. I want to stay busy during the mornings. And sometimes I'll literally I'm like carrying plates and I'm like, oh my gosh, it hit me right now how to fix this song. And it's like, but there's nothing I can do about it. And so I trust in the process of whatever, you know, creative force is driving the show and working through me, that like, if it was meant to be, it'll come back.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does. And other times I just go, the world
Bye.
is generous. It'll come back. Something else is coming.
You were precious.
But I keep song seeds.
Okay.
Like that I just will write, you know, 10 little ideas in a thing and go on to the next one. And there are some months that I end up with, you know, 10 of those. There are some months that I do more voice memos. And I have an ungodly amount of untitled voice memos right now, which is the problem, that I'll go back and be like, oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. That's actually kind of good. I should maybe work on that one.
What would you define your style of music?
That's a really good question. I think it's probably under the, you know, the massive umbrella that's called alternative, because it's like that can mean a whole bunch of things. I'd probably end up leaning alt rock for a lot of things, but I definitely have some stuff that's a little more poppy, especially with my as I've been joking, with my new modern dating pop bangers. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have some fun ones. I'm really excited to play because I never used to play that kind of music. This is very much like a new wave, new era for me. I'm an adult. Like the last time I was really
Eras tour.
yes. That I was like really performing in earnest was high school. I mean, here anyway. I mean, I was in Boston. I did a lot of stuff for school, but which is a big change. And I'm a much different person than that. I've gone through a lot more, and that can be a really daunting thing to like put yourself out there again, because it's obviously vulnerable sharing all this stuff.
And it's personal.
That I've worked on. Some of it's very personal. And some of it I'm like, I get so nervous to share because I'm like, what if people judge me? They're gonna think I'm weird. I have a line in a song that mentions like I get worried people are gonna think I'm too dark or like I'm too deep.
Yeah.
Which are things I've been told, so it's like, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
No.
I've actually started to really learn to love myself and who I am, and it's like, okay, if that's not your vibe, then that's okay.
Thanks.
You're a great person, I'm a great person, we just like go do our things.
It's crazy.
So it's exciting, it's terrifying, but most things in life
should be
both. It's simultaneous. It's not one or the other. It's simultaneous.
With the exceptions of like skydiving, which I will not do.
Yes.
I feel like if something scares you, that is probably the right thing to do.
Often, yeah.
Yeah. Skydiving, no.
No, you go, no, thank you.
No, I'm okay to not brush with death if I don't have to.
See, that seems exhilarating.
Really?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is because, so Mama Zink, coming up again, she went skydiving. Of
course she did.
Because why wouldn't she, you know, many, many years ago. And so she would tell me the story. So from a young age, I was like, well, I got to skydive now. The thing was that, like, her headset went off. So, like, they couldn't direct her when to pull everything. So she didn't know any of this. So when they're on the ground, they're all like, oh my gosh, this girl's going to fall into a tree somewhere.
Oh,
this is terrifying. Eventually it came back on, and it was like nothing had happened. So she gets to the ground, and they're all freaking out, like, you're okay? And she's like, yeah, I was having the time of my life up there.
Oh, so she didn't realize
She had no idea. No, she had no idea, because it came back on in time for them to tell her, hey, make sure you pull your parachute. But yeah. So anyway, that's probably encouragement to you to confirmation to not do it.
Not do it. Nope.
And for me, I was like, yeah, let's go.
You should do that this year.
Oh my gosh, skydiving. It is on the
list.
It is on the very long list of things. I have so much from the last, handful of years that I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do.
What else?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, perform.
Well, yeah,
Obviously.
which is happening.
Obviously.
Yes.
I'd really like to. I'd like to do some traveling because I would travel back and forth from Boston, and I traveled back and forth from Chicago a fair amount because I dated a guy from there and we were long distance. And I love traveling. The Columbus airport is one of my safe spaces. Couldn't tell you why, but there is a bathroom stall in the Columbus airport that I'm like, I feel this is like sacred ground for me.
I love that.
And so I love to travel. I'd really love to go out to California. I got to go out to New York for a music conference.
Okay.
That I was like a wingman for someone else and their project, which is so cool. I'd never been to the city before.
I didn't know that.
No, I've been to the state a million times because we have family there.
Right.
And we have like our grandparents have a cottage that we go to. And so that's like another safe space. Oh my gosh, that's like my heaven. But I'd never gotten into the city. And so it was really fun to get to go. And I had one of my native friends give me the tour. So I mean, I went through Times Square and did all the cool things and got to walk around it. It was so funny. I was freaking out about these stairs in Times Square. And he was like, why are you freaking out about the stairs? I was like, because they're in Spider-Man. I was like, they're in Spider-Man, dude. Yep. And he was like, okay, that checks out for you, Lizzie. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just, it's fun. I really want to get out there again to be able to see a Broadway show because, I mean, talk about bucket list. So Ethan and I talk about trying to do that.
That was I think, what was that, 2016? The kids asked what I wanted for Christmas, and I said a vacation.
Yeah.
And so the family pooled some money together. I went by myself.
Yeah.
And it was marvelous.
Oh, my goodness.
To not have to go to anybody else's schedule, to do exactly what I wanted. On that trip, I stayed in Hell's Kitchen, which was like 45th.
Yeah.
In a little Airbnb, literally a loft. I had to climb a ladder to get into the 6-foot space that I slept in. But I remember I got up, I got a bougie avocado toast and a coffee, and I walked from 44th all the way down to 1st and looked out at the ocean. And I was on my own time. It was at my pace. I saw Hadestown. I saw Beetlejuice.
Stop that. Oh, that was that era. Oh, my gosh.
And just, there's something freeing about going somewhere by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And having to take everything in,
Yeah.
Having to be responsible for what you're doing, but also just like, I'm going to go into this bar at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, read a script, and have a glass of rosé. And I did. And it was
and you're like,
wonderful.
This is on my time.
Very expensive, but it was great.
It's New York, baby.
New York.
Oh, man, is it good, though?
So good.
The food there, I was like,
it's amazing.
wow.
My child, who eats virtually nothing, had, of course, like Nutella pancakes at a little diner and a slice of pizza off of Times Square. And it is the best food that child has ever eaten in their life. Like, well, there are other things, but
I love it.
It's so fun.
Oh.
So you brought this whole new era of yourself. This Lizzie is trying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's how we've gotten onto this.
Oh no, this is what we do.
I love it.
We take detours everywhere.
It's the best.
But you decided to put together a concert.
Yes.
And that you're doing here.
Which
is super
oh my
exciting.
goodness, I'm so excited.
And one of our first big shows that we've hosted here.
Which is I was gonna say I'm so honored.
Oh no, we're
oh my
super
goodness,
excited.
It's gonna be amazing. Well, and I thought that because it's like for the kind of music I do, it's a non-traditional venue. But I was kind of in love with that idea.
Yeah.
Especially with like everything that's offered here at Boxland. I was like, to me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be awesome. I love the people. The vibe is just immaculate.
Some of them are okay.
Pans over to the booth.
I like most of them. Just kidding.
Side eye.
Right.
But I'm so excited. And so I had this, this little idea and have slowly been chipping away at it. And it's crazy to think that it's less than 2 weeks away.
I know.
Which is so exciting. And it's
Scary.
so fun. Always. But it's always that thing that you never feel ready.
Yeah.
But like again.
But you are. I mean.
But even if it always turns out.
Yeah.
And so I've been getting in my head. This is my most recent little thing. I'm getting caught up in my own way. It's like I'm behind in life. Period.
Yes.
And so like then everything I feel behind in. I'm not. I'm actually
You're
like
fine.
right on pace. There's no timeline. for this kind of stuff.
No.
But it's really interesting for me to be like, oh man, I'm about to turn 25 and I feel so behind in life. And I was like, no, I am young, I am free,
You are.
I am living. And honestly, I'm just thankful for that. Like for me, being up and moving, being able to be on my feet for hours at a time, that's a win for me. I still sometimes will just go, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. It's really, again, like that wonder that I experience. And so for me, I find that in all aspects of my life now. And that used to be something that I really only felt when I was performing.
Wow.
And so I'm really, really curious to see how
a
performance in front of people with that energy and the stage. I know I've mentioned a couple safe spaces, airport bathrooms. You know,
we can't provide that
upstate
here.
New York,
Yes.
but the stage is my
my
safe space. It's like maybe the safest space ever. I feel like I can just go and, you know, conquer the world and be honest and vulnerable, and that can be a very difficult thing. Again, terrifying, but exciting.
Oh, so exciting.
And so being able to have this opportunity to do it and share all this music, because again, I have music from like, there's a lot of songs that I've had sitting here for years that outside of my family and a couple of friends, no one has heard. So I'm like,
how did you narrow it down? I mean, I'm sure you have billions that are like on the short list.
Oh my goodness, there were so many that I had to cut. I was like, there's just no way. And so I picked the ones that I was like, these flow together well. Sometimes it's not even a matter of like, oh, is this a song I want to play? Sometimes like, you know what? This is in the same key as the song before. Yep. It'll flow good.
This is great.
And so there's like set list planning, you know? It's like sometimes you got to do with like exactly what I want to play. Some of it's like, what's an audience favorite? What do I know that people are going to enjoy? And then also like, what's the flow? How is this going to function for performance? And again, it's not fragile. This is not, you know, Lord willing, is not the last time I will be performing. So it's like, there were songs that I was like, oh, I'd like to play this one. But I went, you know what? I didn't have time to demo that for the band. That was not happening. And I go, oh, I really would like to play that one though. And I'm like, I'll just play it at the next one.
I love that. Okay, so who's in your band then?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have an amazing crew that I've brought together. I'm so excited. So obviously Elijah, yes.
That kid.
Is playing.
Is he 16 now?
Is playing keys. He's 17.
No, he's not.
He turns 18 in October.
No, he does not.
Yeah, I think I'm having a harder time knowing that my baby brother's turning 18 is going to be an adult than I am being like, I'm 25. You know, like, I know. That's wild.
What happened?
The time just goes like,
I know.
Also, COVID.
Well, yeah, that too.
I just blame COVID. I'm like, anytime I'm like, you're how old? I'm like, well, it's all right. We all lost a couple years.
Lost a few years. Yeah, I'm still 40.
Yeah, obviously. And then one of my really good friends, Lauren.
Okay.
It's hilarious. So she and I had known each other, like known of each other for years because our little brothers had gone to elementary school together.
Okay.
And we're buddies and like would go do little sleepovers in kindergarten. You know, like Lauren and I would just like wave at each other through the window or whatever.
Yeah.
Until one fateful day, we both had an orthodontist appointment.
Oh, how cute.
At good old Dr. Ray's in Westerville. Oh. We joke about this frequently we're like, man, so glad that our teeth were messed up. Because our moms saw each other and then Lauren was about to start high school.
Okay.
So it's him 2 years older than her, I think. And so we were talking like, getting involved and like, oh, what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, I do music too. I was like, no way. And so we've been, you know, close for years and years now. And so we almost roomed together at Berkeley.
Okay.
But we were going to share a room and then I got sick. And then COVID happened. And then we were like, well, then all of this is just crashing and burning in the dumpster fire that is the 2020 year. But it's been really fun. Her and I have been doing lots and our like little music accountability partners is what we started recently in the last couple months is like just a weekly touch point of like, hey, how are you feeling? Like, what are some of your goals for the week and stuff like that? Incredibly helpful.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, you're like, oh.
Our dogs have fleas. We're taking
care.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No. Oh, little buddies.
Oh, they're fine. It doesn't bother them at all.
But I feel for them, though.
It's like, you little flea-bitten bastards. Anyway.
We love them.
We love them. So Lauren, does she play then, or does she sing?
She sings and plays. Okay. She's awesome. She does her own music as well.
Oh, cool.
Phenomenal musician.
Okay.
So she's on guitar, and then funnily enough, the other three guys in the band I've all met through other gigs.
Okay.
In the past few years, whether I was attending, like, so my bassist Thomas, like I had met him when I was going to see my friend perform. She opened for the band he was in.
Oh, wow.
And I connected with his, the lead singer of that band, his then girlfriend, now fiance.
Ooh.
Oh, I know. And she was awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
she rocks. And so he came up afterwards, and so introduced to him. And then I kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little bit again, because, health and all that craziness. And reconnected with him, and that's been awesome.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm trying to think, Noah, my drummer, I met at Natalie's when I was opening for the Castros. I've played 2 gigs.
Oh my god.
In the last 5 years, and
Yeah.
both of them were at Natalie's.
I love Natalie's.
I love Natalie's so much. So one of them was opening for the Castros, and the Darling Sons, which is a band that was touring from Chicago.
Okay.
Amazing. Check out both bands; they rock. And then he was drumming for the Castros, and I was like, he rocks, and he's nearby. I was would say we're heading to rehearsal. He's not far from here, actually. Funnily enough.
Cool.
Worthington,
Yeah.
And then Francisco.
Francisco.
Every time I say that, that's what my dad does. I'm not even kidding. I love it.
Oh,
I'm
I love
obsessed. So he was at one of the other Natalie's gigs.
Okay.
Just watching, and we, talked afterwards. I had a fun little guitar malfunction, because why wouldn't it? And it was funny because he was sitting right by the stage, so he was able to tweak it.
Oh, cool.
I was like, thanks for bailing me out, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so it's all those little connects that you make. So it's been really fun to piece everyone together. And since I'm not not super into the Columbus music scene right now, because I was gone, and then I was sick in bed.
Yep.
And so it's slowly getting out, and my ideal vision is to be able to have kind of a rotating cast of band members, that whoever's available, I'm like, who's playing this gig, y'all? And then we do it. So it's been fun. It's a lot of prep work, especially when you're playing so many new songs, and it'll be fun because I'm playing a handful just by myself.
Okay.
Too, which is it's like my bread and butter.
Intimate.
That's that's so I do what I do.
So you play guitar.
I do play guitar. As I'd say, piano. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to conquer all of the rhythm section instruments.
Okay.
You need to do English apparently.
Nah.
But so I play bass too. Love that. So I started. I obviously voice, played keys. Had picked up guitar, didn't really take that seriously probably till the end of middle school-ish. I think that's when I got my first guitar. But I also played saxophone. I know it's a random thing, but I played saxophone all through middle school, high school, into college.
Did you go to Central then?
Yeah, I was at Westfield Central, and then I spent half the day at Fort Hays Career Center.
Oh, very good.
For the pre-professional music program, which is why I ended up going to Berkeley.
Yeah.
Because my teacher, Jeff McCargish, had been like, oh, one day, randomly, he's like, hey, just so you know, I submitted your name for a nomination for this scholarship. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He goes, yeah, at Berkeley. I was like College of Music? He goes, yeah. And I was like, excuse me, sir.
Awesome.
I was like, you mean the best, amazing, most, dream school ever? He's like, yeah, I just figured, that would be a cool thing for you, And I was like, yeah, it would be. So I ended up getting that scholarship for a summer program.
Yeah.
Which then, brought me into the world, and I was like, yeah, I have to go here. So I spent time and energy just, prepping and learning everything I could. And I was really thankful. I nailed my audition. I've never had a better audition in my life than my audition for Berkeley.
What did you have to do for it?
So, I don't know how much it's changed, but when I was there, you had prepared pieces. You had, rhythm and melodic recall. You had improvisation, and then you had sight reading. So the nice thing was, since I had been at Career Center, I'd been getting trained to sight sing, and so I practiced that. So I did pretty decent on that. My improv was a ton of fun, and you know, you just own it. You hit a wrong note, you just keep holding it.
That's a trait of your family though too.
Oh yeah, it's improv. Whatever. But it was helpful for me because I'm a solid vocalist, and I accompanied myself. But I also ended up, I didn't know this originally, but when I went in, they were asking a couple questions, oh, who are you? What do you do? They're like, what do you want to do at Berkeley? I was like, I'd really like to do CWP, acronym for Contemporary Writing and Production. And that's awesome because a female in a production major, they do look for that.
Yep.
I had not known at the time, but he later goes, yeah, I am the head of CWP. And I was like, oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. He was the chair of the department that it's CWP and a couple other of the majors are under. And so it was really fun for me going in and just having a blast. And he's the one who played keys during my improv thing. We just had good repertoire. So I knew it went really well.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we'll be seeing you. So I knew I at least made it in. And I was like, oh. But I was really, really thankful to have gotten a great scholarship.
Yeah.
Between that and my writing and composition stuff was good. And then the fact that I went to Career Center, they have a partnership with Berkeley.
Cool.
At a Berkeley City Music. Shout out. Best thing ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience, and I'm just really thankful to take everything that I learned, be able to like put it into practice for everyone to, you know, see what I've been like keeping under wraps for all this time. I have all this pent up energy. I'm gonna just look like I'm losing my mind on stage because I'm gonna be so loose and
that's amazing.
Having the time of my life. And
what do you do day of to get ready?
Yes.
I know the day is probably packed with nerves, and you're doing 2 days here.
And I'm doing 2 days, yes. So I would say for me, it's as chill as I can be. I sleep as much as I can, get a lot of really good rest. It depends on how I'm feeling and how much I end up eating and what I end up eating. So hopefully it will be good.
Do you think through that? Like,
so
what am I going to eat? And,
yes.
Oh, do you really?
Okay. Just because it's one less decision to be made the day of to keep me out of analysis paralysis if I end up getting into that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of people who are helping out with this, so I'm not as nervous, and they can feel the nerves for me. That's like the joke.
I'm so excited to be here for it.
So, but I do have like little ritual things. Obviously, I do. Yeah. For me, it's a good warm up, feeling settled. Anytime before a performance, it's so weird, but like I have to brush my teeth. So like I literally went in and brushed my teeth.
Nice.
Before doing this, because I was like, to me, that's just like a calming thing is brushing my teeth, I guess.
That's great. I did floss, but that's because I had Greek food stuck.
And you're like, that's because I had to tidy up. And then. Yeah, it's just good little things I do. I end up doing jumping jacks like right before going on stage because of the way that it gets like my heart rate going. I'm like, all right. I mean, pretty standard stuff, you know, the usual.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll get ready, listening to some music, just jamming and
you don't have any like
being present.
Things that have to be done. Or your brother's weird thing of eating a chicken pot pie.
The chicken pot pie. Oh my gosh, I know.
I think there was one time I said, "Can I please bring some food for you?" He's like, "No, I have to have."
He's
the
like,
pot
"I
pie.
have to have the pot pie."
It would stink up the.
That's so funny.
room.
No, well, and he wasn't able to eat them for a while because he had to take out all dairy and gluten and peas.
That's not
funnily enough.
Peas.
Yeah, it was one of the things that tested that. He wasn't able to eat, but he recently got numbers back. He's able to start adding.
He can get his pot pies
again. So he can get his pot pies again.
Ugh, Ethan.
But no, I mean, I end up doing as much as I can just to kind of relax. I'm sure I'll go and take a walk.
Yeah.
Permitting it's not raining.
Right.
In this case, it will be a little different because it is my actual birthday.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be a little existential.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose.
I love that.
Planning it because I get super like pensive and existential on my birthdays, but apparently that's been like forever.
Huh.
One of my favorite. This is so funny. My mom tells me this every birthday or every time I'm in a mood.
Yeah.
Being existential. I'm like, what is life? She's like, you've been this way pretty much forever. I was 3 years old. She found me on March 14th, the day before my 4th birthday. And she's like, honey, what's wrong? Because I'm just sitting here like with my brow furrowed, and I'm just like, wow. And she's like, what is it? And I just look at her and I go, I'll never be 3 again. Oh my gosh. It is one of my favorite stories to hear her tell because I was like, yeah, at least I'm still the same. At least in that place of getting back to being a kid.
Yeah.
That's just me, and that's a nice thing.
You seem like an old soul to me.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I am as immature as they come. I am perpetually trapped as like a 15-year-old boy, to make it even worse. But you've always seemed to have this sense of an understanding of things a little bit more. Like,
yeah, well, and I feel like a lot of that just comes through a lot of pain, actually.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but it gives you a lot of perspective. Because how could it not, right? You know, it's life experience. But I do, I mean, so much of even like silly things, like I love to crochet and sew and do all the things, and my friends are like, that's grandma stuff. And I was like, I don't care. I love it. It's so much fun.
It's just one more skill.
But I also, I love just being like a little paradox all wrapped up because I do have that old soul, and everyone's like, you're so mature for your age. And I'm like, yes, but remember, keep in mind that my sense of humor is either super dark and dry or is that of a 12-year-old boy. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
You start talking bathroom humor, and I'm like the easiest person to make laugh because everything is just funny.
It is hilarious.
Everything's funny.
We had a 14-year-old in our cast with the opera playing a super. She was wonderful. And I didn't really see the personality until I think it was our last night, and I was in this production. I'm sitting on a bed by myself behind where the cast is, and I realized I can fart this entire show. Nobody's going to know unless it's real stinky because it's just going to sink into. So I can be on stage.
God.
And I did. I had broccoli before one of the performances. And so I was telling this to one of the other cast members, and Anna comes out of the room, and I was like, sorry, did you ever hear this whole conversation? Because I actually, at that moment, had to open the back door, the stage door at the Ohio, to fart outside, because that's what I do. I was trying to be kind. And Anna comes out, and she's like, what are you talking about? I said, farting. This 14-year-old looks at me and goes, grow up. I was like, no, but it's funny.
You go,
Farting's funny.
I'm never going to grow up.
I think having that immature sense of humor is a quality. We are drawn to it. It's terrible around here.
No, it's not terrible. I'm sure it's a dream.
It's nothing. There's no holds barred. It's just all the time. And it makes, I think you find people that are similar to that.
Yeah. Well, and that's a beautiful thing I've found lately. Like, the more authentic you are, the more you surround yourself with other authentic people. And that's how you find your tribe. That's how you find your people. Yeah. And you connect. And that's such an amazing thing. And I'd like just kind of like was a shell for so long. And even prior to this health stuff, just got wrapped up in a lot of things. Very much people pleasing again, chronically overcommit. I have a song I'm playing called Chronic Overcommitter.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a little too relatable. Oops.
So I need to record and listen to that one.
Yeah, okay. You go, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I just thought I needed to be what other people wanted me to be. I had I don't know where I got it. I have this, my mom and I joke about, I say, they say this. And she goes, who's they? I was like, the ever-present they in my head. Because a lot of times people really aren't thinking about you. They're not really, they don't care that much. Like, not in a negative way, but just generally speaking, it's like you don't have to get so caught up in being just so or just some way. Like, as soon as you start letting go of this idea that you have to be everything to everyone exactly the way they want it, or exactly the way that you assume they want it, because half the time it's not even what they,
or they're not watching.
Yeah, better yet. And so that's been a big thing for me over the last couple years. It's like been my next breakthrough.
Oh, I like that.
That I feel like I get to be more myself, and I actually like who I am. And I'm starting to see that other people do too. And I was like, hold up. I was like, oh, yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, the 20s are hard. I mean, I remember it being the most lonely and strange time, and just trying to connect even with people my age just never felt normal.
It's odd.
I did have a child at 27, so that sort of broke that mold pretty quickly. But even then, it was just like, what am I doing? Yeah. And this career that I thought I was building stopped because I'm a mom now. Yeah. So just trying to figure all of that out. Let me tell you, the 40s are amazing. There's a lot more pops and cracks that happen within this shell. But
I'm used to that.
Well, that's true.
I was just like, good, I'm prepared.
But I love that you are at 25 figuring these things out, because it took me till about 40 to figure a lot of those things out. Yeah. And I'm still not completely figuring things out. But
I don't think we ever will. It's a forever learning and growing and fumbling through process, which is, again, back to that whole idea of just trying. I'm going to keep trying, and I hope that everyone else does too. Like, that's all we got a lot of times. Like,
I am so sick and proud of you.
I am so glad that you said the 40s are the best, because I jokingly, I had someone ask me one day, they're like, what do you think your best year is going to be? And I, without thinking, I said 42. 42 is going to be the best year of my life.
Nice.
And so I'm glad to get confirmation that it is probably the case.
There's a weird shift that sort of happened. And I've actually talked with a theater friend yesterday who's in her 60s, and she said the 40s were the best.
Okay.
She said it gets a little harder body-wise after that. But just more of the mental clarity, not giving a fuck about a lot of things, sort of dropping that notion. And by that point, like, we know our people. And you know who your people are.
Yeah,
And
when you
it's
know
like,
a little bit about who you are, too.
Yeah. And where you want to invest time and what's important and what's worth it. You know?
Yeah.
Finding your self-worth. Like,
now, that is a difficult piece.
it is a very difficult
that
piece
is a difficult piece.
Yep. And that's something that, we have to learn the hard way. And we have to say weird things that don't feel like they should be coming out of our mouths about what is my self-worth. But once it actually happens, it's like, oh.
But finding it, reclaiming it, and going through that kind of, it's a weird process. It's not a very comfortable process. And I think a lot of times we try to avoid that because it's uncomfortable. But leaning into it ends up really helping.
It does.
And then on the other side, you're like, wow, that was so worth it. It was worth the pain of, like, going through all of this icky, like, piecing apart what is and what isn't a part of me and what I want in my life. And, like, it's wild.
You are going places.
Oh.
You really are.
Thank you.
So tell us about Lizzie is Trying.
Yes.
It's happening next weekend.
Yes.
Which we are going to launch this week. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So this will be up so folks can kind of get a little spoiler, if you will, of what's coming.
Goodness. Yeah, March 15th and 16th at Boxland, baby. Yeah, Lizzie is
6155 Hundley Road, Sweet J.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm launching my new artist name, Lizzie is Trying, and a whole bunch of new music that I have just been amassing.
And that starts at?
Over the last 5 years. It'll start at 7:30. Doors at 6:30.
Doors at 6:30.
Yeah, it's just going to be awesome. You can get tickets online at Boxland.
And they're a great price, too.
Oh, I was about to say, it's fun. So there's a theme because it's my birthday. So I made the tickets $19.99. Because I was born in 1999. I was like, okay, I got to do like a little Taylor Swiftism. Like just a little.
It's all right.
It's my Eras.
It's also
the
very
Eras tour,
affordable.
Is that what you said too?
Your Eras tour.
Yeah, and so I'm so excited to be able to share it with everyone, and I'm super excited too because like we're about half sold, which that far ahead of the show, I was like,
yep. Oh, that's got to feel like an honor.
Oh my
though.
gosh, wow, I feel so honored, especially like for my first show back and stuff. So get your tickets while you can, y'all.
Get the tickets. People can buy drinks when they're here.
Yeah, so
we've got our bar on hand.
Which is so nice. I'm so glad that you have that.
Yeah. We're all super stoked about it here. So
it is. Well, and you're only building up more, which is so exciting. Yeah.
We keep going. We're doing something right. So. And we do
amazing.
Things wrong also, but
I'm pretty sure that's living.
It's living.
That's living.
That's
live and you learn. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Amazing. So obviously our website at Boxland, but do you have a website and socials that people
I do,
can follow
yeah. I was
too?
about to say, yeah, good old everywhere that you can find anything, Lizzie is Trying. Thing is, everyone spells my name wrong because it's Lizzie Zink. So classically I get Lizziezinc. So I'll just let everyone know. I spell Lizzie Lizzie.
Yeah.
And then is Trying.
And Zink is with a K.
And as I say, Zink is with a K, but that's not in any of my Lizzie is Trying stuff.
Okay.
Not like I'm trying to eliminate zinc or anything, but just like it's extraneous at this point.
I don't think you can eliminate that. I've met your fan.
But yeah, it's really fun. So like the main thing that I use is Instagram because I had started the Lizzie is Trying moniker. See, bookends.
Yep.
For my final semester where I had to write a short piece of music every day for 100 days. It was the entire semester. Oh my gosh. It was a lot. And it was an electronic writing and production class. And I was like, I don't know the first thing about electronic music.
Right.
I just took the class because it was like my favorite professor. And I was like, all right, well, I have no idea what I'm doing. And the first day he says, you have to make a public account for everyone to be able to see this. And I went, oh, well,
Here
I was
it
like,
is.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, but I'll try. And I was like, boom, Lizzie is Trying.
Nice.
And so eventually that had just morphed. After the class ended, I posted a bunch of stuff of like little crafts I was making and all that goodness. And eventually it morphed into music again. And then when I was trying to decide, do I want to release as Lizzie Zink? Do I want to front a band? What do I want to do? I was like, wait,
It's already there.
I was like, it's been here this whole time. It's been here this whole time. So I'm so excited.
We're so excited for you.
Gonna be amazing. Thank you so much for having me. This is literally
I hope this wasn't too difficult.
No, this is amazing. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Again, it's just a conversation. It's coming and being. And again, it's like allowing yourself to be present in the moment.
Yes. Minus the fleas.
The fleas, minus the fleas.
Minus the fleas. Sorry. I'm usually really, really good about not, but if I see it's the husband, I'm like, oh,
no.
I should probably.
I was about to say family, especially our furry friends.
Ugh.
I am
You guys have a cute little baby too.
Oh my gosh, my baby. I love her so much. Oh my gosh.
What kind is she? Bichon?
She's a mutt, but
okay.
like we know that she is like a Maltese Yorkie Poodle Terrier. And so she's just
it's a lot happening
tiny. She's just tiny and so anxious.
Yes.
It's so funny because all of those breeds are known for their anxiety. And we're like, well, at least she gets it. Honestly, she's like the rest of the Zink family with allergies and anxiety. Like,
gracious. Can you bring your dog to the show? Or would that be too much?
She'll probably die.
Okay. So no, don't.
She would probably actually have a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Like, as she's getting older, too.
Yeah.
She is not doing as well with large groups of people. Like, it just gets her, like, too much. Too much. And I was like, girl, take a chill pill. It's okay.
When you're that little, though.
That's fair.
You know?
But, yeah, I do also want to, like, find a way to be able to take her on tour. I feel like that'd be so much fun. Ugh. Also, if she's away from all of us too long, that'd probably be worse for her anxiety than meeting new people. So,
right. Let's weigh the options.
Oh, Zippy Zink, our little icon.
So cute. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excited for you.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
And thank you for listening.
Boxland Media. Think big.